Hello everyone, it's IcyNewYear, and we are back with some more, talking about Better Than Wolves and how to survive. So, it is now the next day, and there are a couple things I wanted to go over real quick that people have pointed out I should have talked about. Just a small change to crafting tables. If there's anything on top, if there's a solid block on top of the crafting table, you can't use it. Just figured it's something that should probably be pointed out, you know, just in case it comes up. So, it is now daytime. We're going to take our stuff. We're going to head out. And I did want to point out one other thing. You know, I'm actually getting a bit of lag here, so I'm going to pause, and I will be right back. And we're back. That's much better. So one other thing I want to point, that was pointed out, is that if you want to help light up your base a little bit, creeper. So, actually, this is a great opportunity to talk about creepers. There you go. Creepers taken care of. Creepers can actually be kind of your friend early game, in that one exposed some coal and got me a ton of, piles of dirt. I mean, look at that. Boom. 29 slabs. And we got our first couple coal, which is fantastic. So something that I don't often do, so I didn't think to mention it, but a lot of people do, is these grates. We talked about how useful they can be. You can use these to make a sky roof. My base should be down here somewhere. Or not. Whatever. We'll go inside and make one. So I'm taking a lot of unnecessary damage, which is dumb. There we go. These can be used to make a sky roof, which is going to allow some light in during the night, allow some light in during the day. We'll be able to see if it's dark. You know, it's a nice thing to have. So something to keep in mind. Now, it is raining outside, so monsters will not burn. We need to be careful about that. And we're doing decent on food. So I'm going to pause for a moment. We'll talk. So when you start up, on your second day, there we go. You've made it through your first night. You want to take stock of what you have, and we are out of wood, so we have to make wood a priority today. We are good on food. So, you want to go through and get some wood. And now that you have axes, it's so much nicer. We'll talk about different kinds of wood for different projects here soon, but basically oak is a good standby. Save your birch if you can, because it's better for smelting once you start getting into iron production and such. But yeah, so we're just going to spend a little bit of time checking the surrounding area, getting a feel for, you know, what kind of resources we have easily at our disposal. There we go. So I got a bit of wood. We're going to want more wood than that, but we will talk. I mean, getting wood is easy, so we don't really need to talk too much about it. I'll probably do most of that off camera. The only thing I want to say on it is be sure that you keep, you know, a little bit back. I'm going to go ahead and make a couple picks. There we go. Make sure you keep a little bit back in case you, like, accidentally use... Don't use up your last axe. Wow, I am just in a speaking great mood today. So, these are places I might be going often, so I'm going to slab it up. I'm going to be grabbing any coal I see, because coal is amazing. Now, as you probably noticed, I only got one torch per piece of coal. So, you don't want to use your coal to cook up things. Like, there's almost never a point early game when that is the thing that, you know, is worth doing. You can just use a log. You can use sawdust. You can use bark. Okay, we'll come back for the rest of the coal. So, we got 4 coal. I'm happy with that. We're going to poke around. So, right now, I'm just surveying the area, and normally I'd be chopping up wood as I did this, just to get a, you know, a nice resource cache and a feel for the area. We want to especially focus on anything like mines. Cool, we got some rotten flesh, which is nice. Well, not mines, any, like, caves and such. Okay, so this is super dangerous, specifically because it's raining. This wouldn't be an issue on a day when it's not raining. A rainy day can really screw up all your plans. But that is something we're going to have to keep in mind. We want to check that out later. That cow there, we are not going to touch him because we don't yet have a bow. Killing a couple spiders would be amazing. You know what? I have the life. I can go ahead and show this off. So, it is possible to kill cows. Just, it takes patience and care. I might not get hit this time. Because cows, basically, when they're running around wildly, even if they're not the ones who got hit, So when I hit the first cow, you saw both ran. When they're running around wildly, stay away from them. If you get near their back legs, they're going to give you a wallop, and it could easily end your spawn. So the nice thing about that, there we go. As you can see, he kicked me right in the face. We're going to leave him alone now. The nice thing about that is cows have a tendency to survive the night now, because they can often fight off the zombies that are attacking them. You know, just keep an eye out. I heard a dog, which is a scary thing. Dogs, if they get hungry, will go after you. So just be very careful. So, more cows. And I'm being careful to make sure I know which way is home. Right now, I'm doing a mini hunting expedition. What I normally do is... Oh, I hear a chicken. Is I'll have days where I decide, you know, okay, my food reserves are low. Today is devoted to hunting. I will load up on axes. I'll keep a torch with me and a shovel, and I'll head out and I will just spend that day hunting food. Like, that is all I focus on. I'll make note of any interesting things, like, you know, oh, I found a nice deep cave here. I might want to check this out later, but I'll resist the temptation to, you know, go after that cave. It is all about the hunt. You know, you got to get your food up there. There's a chicken in there. And a note on hunting. Punching things with your fists isn't worth it. Maybe with the exception of chickens. I don't know where he got off to. And keep an eye on how much you run around and how much you jump while you're hunting, because that is definitely important. So when I attack this chicken here, I want to make sure I'm well away from the cow, because he's going to go on a rampage. There we go. So there we are. I mean, decent chunk of food. Something that you always want to keep your eye out for, and is definitely worth deviating from your hunting plan, is pumpkins. If you see pumpkins, stop and get them. Pumpkins are going to be the first step towards some kind of renewable food. So yeah, always worth stopping for. At this point, I'm going to head back a little bit towards my house. The fact that it's raining makes it much harder to explore that cave entrance right, you know, behind my house. So that kind of, a little bit of a bummer, but not a huge deal. So this wolf here, I'm going to check around. I don't see any other wolves, so we're going to just very carefully. There we go. Huh. No chops, but still. One less threat in the area. Okay, and I'm starting to see saplings that I planted, so I know I've been here before. Alright, here is my house. Cool. So that is like the earliest of early game food. It is just plan hunting trips. Have days where this is going to be a hunting day. I'd still need to collect a lot of wood for this day, which, as I said, I'll do off camera, but we're going to take a peek over here and see how the mob situation is. Because it's not dark enough for mobs to spawn, but it is, you know, raining, so they won't die. Okay, we look good. It looks like they did despawn. At some point, once we have more torches, we can take over the back of this area. But for now, we're just going to poke our head real slightly. Let's go ahead. Oh, yeah, and one wood can be turned into a shaft. I'm pretty sure I mentioned that in the last episode, but I'm not 100% sure. So we got 5 torches. We're just going to very carefully... Yep, as I thought, that one ended immediately. Let's get our torch back. And there's a big debate on slabbing, you know. Should I slab up everywhere I go? Like, there's people who will slab every single step. I don't do that because I don't find it enjoyable. Okay, that's just nothing. I will just slab places I intend to go often. Or if my hunger's running super low, you know. Yeah, just use your judgment on it. There's a balance to be struck between literally slabbing every single step and, you know, wasting hunger. Let's head down here. So coming down here, a little bit of coal, which is an awesome find. I'm hoping to find a little bit of iron on the surface. I wish I had found more sheep on our journey, but I was sadly, you know, didn't find any. So yeah, I might have to spawn in a couple things to talk about early game armor. But yeah, so leather is, you know, obviously a very good early game armor. It's just harder to get now. You can only safely get leather with a bow. And, you know, your rotted arrow supply is going to be reasonably low. But, I mean, if you have leather, it's a good thing. I mean, hold on to it. Ah, damn it. But we do have another source of early game armor, and that's wool. So wool balls can be made into any of the armor leather can be made into, with the exception of boots, because that would just be socks and they'd get dirty, and you know what? We just don't tolerate that around here. Okay, so we're going to poke our head down here, and I'm seeing a cave right there that I really want to check out. Oh, and a sheep. It's harder to tell what time it is because it's dark, but that's all right. We might have to make an emergency. Oh, it is actually getting dark. I could make a run for it and get home. I'd probably make it, but it might be a little sketchy. So here's the decision. It's, do I camp out here, where I know I can be safe, but the problem with camping out here is there's a lot of animals. I'm not going to have time to kill them all. And me camping here will expose them to the danger of mobs overnight. We're going to camp here, just so I can show you that. But it's just a decision you need to make. Something to keep in mind when you decide if you're going to camp out in a new area. If you can possibly get back a little bit into an area that you've already been in, away from mobs, or away from animals that they aren't loaded, that's ideal. But if you can't, yeah, it's all about planning. Like this hunting trip here was not a good one. I mean, I'm way too late. Oh. We'll talk about ravines on the next episode. But I'm way too late to get back home. So this is why I bring my shovel. Boom. Boom. We're just going to dig till we can find a nice spot in the dirt that we can hide in. We always keep at least one torch on us. And here we go. We're safe for the night. And we have enough stuff on us. We can make ourselves a crafting bench. Put that down right here. And we can spend our night digging out some more cobble. Doesn't have to be in our base. So yeah, that's kind of the basics of hunting trips. I'm going to pause, and then I'm going to cheat and grab a couple supplies so I can show a couple other things about early game armor and such. We'll get into fishing in the... we'll get into fishing once we talk about caving and getting iron. So yeah, I'll be right back. And we're back. So I cheated, obviously, and I gave myself a bunch of wool balls just to show this. So with wool balls, you can use them, you can use the different colors interchangeably. It's just going to affect the ending color, just like dyeing leather in that regard. But they can make, as I said, everything that leather can make, with the exception of boots. So something to keep in mind, if you happen to have 4 leather, you might want to make boots with it, since you can't make wool armor of that type. And, you know, a full set gives me armor and a half, which isn't bad. It's not great, but, you know, you're going to be killing sheep anyway to get your food. It's a good byproduct, and it'll give you some early game protection. So that's it. The biggest thing to take out of this is plan your hunting trips. Don't just, you know, casually hunt and expect to find food around your base. I mean, the longer you're playing, the farther you're gonna have to go for food. So just plan hunting trips. I mean, I'll have times, you know, early mid game before I have renewable food, but you know, after I've been there a while, where I'll be going, you know, I'll do a 3-day hunting trip. I'll just travel in a direction for, you know, 2 days, and then come back and hunt along the way. Just, you know, put hunting trips into your normal schedule. Check your food supplies. Make sure, you know, you're going to have enough food to last you the hunting trip. You might want to bring a furnace, a couple picks, you know, and make sure you always have a torch and some shovels on you. So yeah, thank you all for watching. If you have any suggestions or comments, if you think I missed something that falls into this area, or if you have something you do differently, let me know in the comments down below. And as always, have a great one.